Welcome everyone. My name is Lloyd and I'm the moderator for this session. I will be monitoring the Q&A, so feel free to ask any questions during or after this presentation. The presentation you're about to see is pre-recorded, and Kevin will go live after the presentation to answer any questions you have. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry, we seem to be having a bit of a hiccup at the moment.
My name is Sprague. I work for NHS Digital here in the UK as a technical lead in interoperability standards. Today I will be sharing with you an overview of our work involving FHIR and what we are now looking to do with the FHIR UK core. First, let me introduce NHS Digital to those who may not be as familiar with who we are and how we support the NHS across the UK. We run the core IT infrastructure and services of health and care system. We design, build and procure new digital services and systems. We collect, process, link and disseminate data from the health and care system. We develop and distribute IT and data standards. And we are also a cybersecurity partner to the health and care system. So when it comes to improving lives using data and technology, we're right at the centre of this work across the NHS. I'd like to go back in the history a bit to when NHS Digital first started doing FHIR and we started using DSTU2. We had two projects. One of them was a transfer of care to support the discharge of hospital patients who have care and support needs. We also did a national female genitalia mutilation risk indicator system. Moving on to SQ3, we developed a set of profiles in collaboration with an organisation called Interopen and also involving HL7 UK. This standardised set of profiles was branded as Care Connect. We also derived profiles for national use cases such as primary care, electronic discharge letters and child health from this set of generic profiles. When NHS Digital made the decision to use R4 to do its FHIR development, there was a desire to build on the Care Connect approach and to increase the take-up of FHIR across the UK. We did realise there was a fresh approach needed, and this was based on feedback from implementers of the previous versions of FHIR. We also at the same time made the decision to move to the Simplifier collaboration platform. So what are we trying to achieve? We want to build on the Care Connect approach and not just provide a technical solution. And this mustn't be from the centre, so we're looking for UK-wide collaboration across the borders of the 4 nations. We want to create a UK core or base similar to what has been done in the US and Australia. The technical resources that we need to create are going to be created using people across the 4 nations, so England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. We're currently working with Wales to make this a reality. And we're really looking to collaborate with implementers across the UK to increase interoperability and take up of FHIR R4. So we're looking to create a good solution for the whole of the UK. Challenges. Collaboration-wise, there's quite a few challenges. Within the UK, there's a complex organisational setup. Many organisations involve many other interested parties. Funding is also a challenge at the moment, more so this year than in previous years. And one of the problems we have is to look at the feedback. We very often get conflict in feedback. Feedback that we have too many profiles, we need fewer. Feedback we need more generic profiles, but still be able to do validation. 4 nations engagement is a challenge at the moment. Not all 4 nations are using FHIR to the extent that England is. Wales are coming on board with us and working with us. We're still currently seeking dialogue, seeking interaction with Scotland and Northern Ireland. Technical challenges. National programs versus local incentives. Do we build national programs or do we work with the local implementers to try and do local implementations of FHIR? We need both, but it's difficult to juggle. Need to deliver versus create a core standard. We do need to deliver. There's pressure to deliver from various programs. We also need to create the standard, the UK core, and that takes time. Ensuring profiles are fit for purpose. Validation. How to use profiles that are fairly generic for validation without creating hundreds of profiles. Alignment of value set code systems across the 4 nations and also with the FHIR standard. Mapping existing V3 NHS digital systems to FHIR. Most of our national systems were created using V3 and they're very tightly modelled V3 messages. They are quite difficult to map to FHIR, especially if we need to round trip or interfaces. Implementation using SNOMED CT, quite a challenge. A lot of NHS systems still not very SNOMED CT aware, and mapping has been proved to be difficult. Progress. So we have engaged in creating a UK core, and at the latest build we had 29 draft profiles which have been created, and 5 of these are in the process of clinical and technical assurance. This clinical and technical assurance process involves a group of technical and clinical SMEs reviewing, agreeing that the assets are fit for purpose and match the use cases we need them for. We also have created a number of terminology resources, which are also part of that clinical and technical assurance. And we've also created 34 extensions to the FHIR standard, which are currently being reviewed against the FHIR standard. These extensions are for extensions to the FHIR standard required for the NHS across the UK. Current use cases, these are NHS digital ones. FHIR interfaces for existing H7v3 national systems. We're creating an interface for our personal demographic service, for our electronic prescribing, and for the English summary care record. We're also doing some pathology reporting, messaging, ambulance messaging, and some clinical observation work. This is more about early warning scores for adults and children. Collaboration. We are bringing the interested parties together by setting up a UK FHIR delivery senior leadership team, including representation from the following organisations: H7 UK, Professional Records Standards Body, the PRSB. This is a body that looks at doing headings for clinical information. The NHS Wales Informatics Service, which is the Welsh equivalent to NHS Digital, and we're also collaborating with Interopen, who represent the supplier community. We do still need wider representation from other nations and other organisations into this team as we go forward and develop the UK core. So how do we check that what we're producing in the UK core is fit for purpose, meets the needs of the NHS and others across the UK? We have a collaborative clinical and technical assurance process, which does the assurance of the actual UK core content. We have an NHS Digital Data Coordination Board, which provides assurance of the processes around development of UK core. And then we have the HL7 UK ballot process as the final sign-off for the UK core. And now my final thoughts. Adoption of the UK core is our biggest challenge. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, let's proceed to the Q&A. Okay, at the moment, we do not have any questions. Okay, Kevin, have you got anything you want to add to your presentation?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I could do, Lloyd. So there's two reasons really why I was quite keen to present this. The first one is to sort of drum up interest from within the UK, so to speak. So I know that not everybody in the UK is aware of what we're doing in NHS Digital and how the UK core is trying to be produced, and also to sort of interact with other countries who are either doing FHIR fairly early on or looking to build their own core, to try and obviously share experiences and learn from what other people have done.
Okay, yeah, I seem to have received some questions in the Q&A. Could you talk more about the biggest challenges?
Yes, okay. Yeah, so the biggest challenge is, I see it, the challenge for us is because the UK, when we were just England doing FHIR, we had a lot of challenges with a lot of different organisations all doing FHIR pretty much in isolation and not really talking to each other. So it's the key to me is to actually get all those interested parties, not around the table as such, because it would be a big table, but to get them all to sort of engage and try and produce a UK core for all, for R4, for everybody who's doing FHIR, because that's really the only way we're going to get this interoperability, is to get everybody doing the same version of FHIR. And it's going to take time and it's not going to happen overnight, but that's the aim. The aim is to make this like the way to do FHIR in the UK.
Okay, yeah, we have another question. As a member of the UK-based company, what are the best ways I can get involved with FHIR in the UK?
If I'm selfish and say, contact me or contact NHS Digital. NHS Digital is sort of leading on a lot of the resourcing and that, but it's this is a collaborative process. We are still working on our comms strategy. It's quite difficult to contact everybody who's doing FHIR in the UK. There's not like a telephone directory you can go through and get all the email addresses, all the telephone numbers. It is quite difficult because if you put it out, we can use Simplifier, so we have Simplifier. We put a news item out recently about our clinical and technical assurance, but that doesn't go to everybody it needs to. We have no magic way of getting, so contact us please, is all I would say, and engage with us, and we can start that conversation. We are looking to get more and more people involved and engaged.
Okay, super. Yeah, what are the likely timescales for balloting on the UK core?
It's a very good question. We've now got to the stage where we are clinically and technically assuring them. So this is a process which we've actually sent news items out on only yesterday to say, can you, if you're interested, come and join us, come and be part of this process. This process is about taking a group of profiles, and we're doing it with 5 initially. These 5 profiles will be examined against the use cases by both clinical and FHIR experts, and terminologists, a wide range of group of people to see the fit for purpose, and they will then be agreed. The timescales currently for that is that like early January, those first 5 profiles will have gone through the process, will have been in effect ready for ballot. So the ballot is really just, if we do the clinical and technical assurance properly, the ballot is almost like a rubber stamp. I don't like to say rubber stamp because it's not it's much more valuable than that. But if we do the clinical and technical assurance correctly, then it is a fairly no-brainer to get them balloted and through. Once we've done that first 5, which is we're going to test the process as much as the actual profiles. Once that process is deemed to be the correct process and everybody agrees that's the way to do it, then we will take the next set and we are in the middle of creating a roadmap of which profiles will be done and when. So it's not going to be a big bang. These 27 profiles all been, all super duper, all balloted, because that would be too much for anybody to actually try and, assure. So they are going to be done in stages. And part of the reason we want people involved is because we want to know what people need. It shouldn't be just NHS Digital saying we want these profiles. It should be what profiles, what's next would you like us to do?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, we have a question from Satya, and he asks, please suggest the roadmap for R5 support in the UK core on SimpliFHIR.
Support for R5? Yeah. Well, that's a good question. At the moment, we haven't got R4 sorted. I think that would be something that, as a group, because we do know, for instance, that there will be UK core R4. That's what we're planning to do. When we start doing the R5 one, we wouldn't obviously throw away the R4 one. So there will be, the idea is to support 2 versions of FHIR. We are not doing SQ3, so it will be R4 and R5. I think it's more of a collaborative decision when do we put less effort into R4 and start putting the effort into R5, because obviously there's a lot of resources needed. Resources aren't cheap, and therefore it needs to be done at the right time.
Okay, yeah, I have someone here that's asking, as a UK-based implementer of FHIR, this is the 3rd set of FHIR specifications for the UK. How do we know that there won't be a 4th set of specifications in another year?
That's a very good question. The current SOT, or the UK FHIR delivery board team that we've created with Intropen, HL7 UK, and the PRSB, is not just responsible for R4, it's responsible for all versions of FHIR. And the idea is that would stop having all these different specifications, but it would just be one collaborative approach to FHIR in the UK. So if we get enough people on board, that will stop us having lots of different specifications, because it will be a team effort to come up with the one and only and the right one. That's the plan. Well, that's the vision, is probably a better word.
Okay,
and it does take collaboration from everybody. It's not something we can do on our own.
Okay, and what seems to be the most important reasons for no adoption till UK core?
There is some adoption. There's quite a lot of adoption of FHIR. I think the trouble is it's been done at sort of at different levels, in a bit in isolation. So NHS Digital, being the sort of national provider for a lot of this FHIR stuff, is doing some FHIR with its own profiles. You have other people doing local implementations with their own profiles. There is no real joined up collaborative approach, which is why we're trying to use this core idea, which is similar to what has been done in other countries.
Okay, super. Yeah, we don't seem to have any more questions anymore. Do you want to say anything else just to cover up this session?
Well, I suppose all I can say is, please do contact me or NHS Digital about the FHIR core, or via HL7 UK, PRSB, Intropen, these 3 organisations, which if you're English, or sorry, if you're in the UK, you will understand, and these are all Googleable, so you can all find them in Google easy enough, or email me direct. Quite happy to email me, and I will forward the emails to the people who they need to go to. We do really want people to get involved.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Now we're going to wrap up the session. We'd like to thank everyone for putting in the questions in the Q&A, and for the presentation of Kevin. And if you have any other questions after this session, please ask them in the Q&A, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.